Hello, my name is Chuck. I'm here to give you some tips to help you succeed in your teaching of Lesson 1.1. So, first thing to know is, well, if you haven't taught Lesson 0, you're going to want to teach Lesson 0. The lessons that we have prepared rely very heavily on being familiar and comfortable with what the Clue platform can do. Therefore, if your students are not familiar with it by completing lesson 0, they're going to struggle and they're not going to be able to get everything they need to out of these lessons. So please, if you have not taught lesson 0 yet, take the time to do so. For this lesson, we recommend using a driving question board during it. If you're unfamiliar with how to use a driving question board, let's take a moment to go over it. A driving question board is a poster or spot on your whiteboard where students can add questions regarding the content you're covering in this unit at any time over the course of the unit. We recommend the use of a driving question board here in order to question how Tilly's bionic arm works. We encourage you to let your students add anything they're wondering, especially at this time during this unit. Students should be free to add to it at any point over the course of the unit, but it should be a good source of wondering for them. Something in this lesson that students may get caught up on is the idea of a needs statement. A needs statement is the idea in engineering where you consider what your product needs to do before you actually figure out how it can do that. You're figuring out the what and the why before you figure out the how. A lot of students, especially when developing their models during this lesson, may get a little bogged down with the how, focusing on, instead of what they need the bionic arm to do, they focus on how they could do it. Please direct your students to focus on the what and the why. The last thing that I want to discuss today is the process of actually creating models of bionic arms that your students will take on at the end of this lesson. Now, we offer 3 different ways that students can do this, preferably through drawing, which is a whiteboard, pencil and paper, and through Clue's drawing tile. Now, no matter what method of creation that students choose, and even if they choose to instead do it as a flowchart, focusing on need statements, or some other form that we leave to your discretion, please just make sure that your students save their work. It is very important that these models are saved and that they have access to them for a later lesson. They will be referenced again. In Clue, the best way to do that is to either use the drawing file to begin with, or you can insert a picture by taking the picture and then saving it to the computer. Now, either way will work, but once again, got to make sure that we have those.